Hey, Paul, why don't you chime in? I mean, you joined in. You haven't really had an opportunity to talk about female delusion in 2021. I know you coach a lot of women too. So what's your experience been with that?
Yeah. So experience has been that it's this Instagram lie. You know what I mean? They're on social media. They're presenting a sliver of who they are, and they're getting a ton of social proof for that little sliver that they're presenting. Photo filters, clever angles, all that stuff. And then they get these guys on there, lonely beta guys who aren't getting laid, who are liking and hearting and dropping in their DMs. And it's like they get this extremely inflated view of themselves and their opportunities out there. And what ends up happening at some point, they get a big fat reality check after maybe getting banged out by a few alphas, but having those guys not stay with them, right? Or having to deal with, the sexual marketplace and so many beta ass men out there. They get this reality check, and at some point, and they realize, not all of them. All right. We're talking the kinds of women that call me for coaching. It's like they get a big hit of reality that, hey, this is empty. This is lonely. This isn't really what I want. You know what I mean? If I want to have, a good partner in a relationship and, have all of the good things in life, right? Maybe that blue pill fantasy, but that's that if they want that, the way to go about that and get that isn't what they're doing, which is riding the carousel, and just kind of getting as much male attention as possible. And so that's pretty much the women that figure this out. They start looking for a different way. But what percentage is that though, right? A really small percentage. So I would say, as far as any kind of solutions to these problems, here's the thing. Vaginas are going to respond to the same things, all right, that they responded to 50 years ago, 100 years ago, 100,000 years ago. So if you can be that alpha dude, all right, and you know how to be the vagina whisperer, right? In other words, use game and you cut right into that hindbrain, communicate attraction and to that hind, which is what seduction is, what game is, and what a lot of guys game. That's what we're trying to do, right? You cut right through all the bullshit. They will turn into a feminine person for you because they fall right to their instincts, which their instincts is, and so they're walking around without a male leader. I hate to say it like that, but that is what it is. And they're being more like men. And then they drop in and they finally attraction and desire for an alpha guy who keeps friends. What ends up happening, they end up acting like a little girl. I've had strong, independent type women type that when they're with me, they're feminine. They're little girls because that's their instinct. And they fall right into that if you know how to have that presence. Now, some women are going to be so lost. And if they start to have those feelings of actually being a woman, okay, they'll shut it down. They'll act like a bitch. They'll stop calling you, whatever. You know what I mean? They'll get shy away from it. There are some of those, but for the most part, if you maintain frame and you can show every person watching this really can be that guy. That guy is somewhere in them. You don't have to look like, super jacked alpha guy or anything. It's part of our instincts too, to be that guy. So you tap into that instinct, your alpha instinct, you cut right through all the bullshit. And so that's my advice and my observation. Women around me don't act like, act like they're strong, independent selves when they're not around me. You know what I mean? So
every once in a while, you got to call them a bitch and show them the front door if you have to, right?
Yeah, exactly.